Hi, good morning. My name is Shadab Taiyabi. I am the elected president of the Singapore FinTech Association. I've been in the FinTech industry for close to 15 years now, having worked for some of the large and the smaller companies as well. FinTech Association is the national industry association representing the whole FinTech ecosystem in Singapore. We represent companies across multiple verticals, be it payments, Web 3.0, wealth tech, insurance tech, insurtech basically, investment tech, and many other segments as well. Our main goal is to create collaboration opportunities between different companies across the region and mostly in Singapore to make sure that Singapore remains as the global FinTech hub, connecting ASEAN with China, connecting ASEAN with India, as well as, creating a collaboration opportunity for most of the companies within Singapore. If I were to look at the next 2-3 years, of course, payments will continue to grow. Payments was one of the major segments that we had the large amount of funding coming in as of last year, as per our ASEAN FinTech Landscape report as well. Then, of course, followed by investment tech, Web 3.0, insurtech and all. All these have helped grow the FinTech ecosystem to a certain extent to the level that we are in right now. But if you talk about the trends, most importantly, Web 3.0 technologies will become more and more mature and more pervasive in the usage within the financial institutional space as well, traditional finance as well. There is going to be a culmination of DeFi, which is decentralized finance, with traditional finance as we go along. And most of this will culminate into solutions which are more focused towards enterprises, be it for lending, for trading, for investments, for insurance. DeFi solutions or Web 3.0 based technologies are going to power these use cases as we go forward. So more and more usage of Web 3.0 technologies in the overall traditional financial space. The next, which I think it has been talked about quite frequently as well, is ESG. We can see there are a lot of business models that are evolving in the ESG space as well. The idea is for intergenerational wealth transfer happening at this point of time. There is a lot more focus towards investment, which is sustainable, towards sustainable goals, towards sustainability goals, towards goals which are more closer to the heart of the investors. And there is business reason why companies need to evolve their businesses with sustainability as well as profitability at core. Now, these goals or this evolution has actually caused a lot of these fintech companies to evolve their business models, which are more geared towards measurement of these sustainability goals, towards monitoring of the efforts that are taking place towards these sustainability goals, and also at the end impact measurement of these efforts as well. So all these actually help lead direct capital towards sustainability goals as cleanly and in a verifiable way as possible. So there are quite a few fintech companies which are actually focused on ESG business models, and they are part of our subcommittee, the SFA's Green and Sustainable Subcommittee as well. These will lead towards capital directed towards sustainable goals of MNCs and SMEs, which will in turn, of course, create a more sustainable-led investment paradigm, which is going to be useful and beneficial for not just consumers, but also the overall global landscape as well, our own Mother Earth. So in a way, there are business reasons that are powering these fintech companies, and these fintech companies will power capital directed towards ESG goals. So SFA, we are the National Industry Association representing the whole FinTech ecosystem in Singapore. So one of the key ways that we do it is by creating collaboration opportunities between FinTech companies and financial institutions, collaboration opportunities between the different FinTech companies themselves, and also for FinTech companies to be able to reach out to their consumers, in a more direct way as well. So that is through networking events, that is through creating ways for them to market themselves out, and also to create these opportunities where fintech companies are able to reach out to the possible potential clients as well as investors as well. So all these actually help in creating a collaborative ecosystem where it's not just the players that work together, but also the players working with the policymakers as well as regulators as well. So we have organized ourselves into different subcommittees as well. Some of them are industry focused, such as payment subcommittee, wealth tech, which was recently launched, Web 3.0, which was recently launched, as well as insurtech, digital financing. And there are subcommittees which are more cross-industry focused as well, such as the Green and Sustainable Subcommittee, which I talked about earlier, as well as Women in FinTech Subcommittee. These create opportunities for our FinTech companies to actually use them as an advocacy channel towards policymakers and regulators to work collaboratively with them in terms of identifying issues and challenges and to provide the right feedback, but also to work with them on market development opportunities as well. Because in the end, there are players in the ecosystem. An example would be our Wealth Tech Subcommittee, which has 3 B2B robo-advisory players, 3 B2C robo-advisory players. Collaborations have always been important. Collaboration will continue to remain important, and collaboration will remain a key factor in anybody who's seeking business growth. So I would say collaboration between fintech companies, like I mentioned earlier, collaboration between the fintech companies as well as the policymakers and regulators, and collaboration between the various stakeholders beyond just your own competitors is important, because that helps you be aware of the challenges that are coming, that makes you aware of the unique ways of solving those challenges, and also to work collaboratively together towards that common goal, which is to provide scalable, most efficient solutions to not just consumers, but also to your financial institution clients as well. Some of the fintech companies are actually focused on creating that ESG registry, names being Stacks and ESG Tech from our community. Then there is that measurement of impact of these sustainability projects as well, which is where some of our companies, member companies such as Green Arc, are working towards that as well. So there are quite a few companies that are working towards these different business models, all towards powering a net zero carbon economy. And we work very closely with stakeholders like MAS and Google in some of the programs that they're leading as well, such as the Project Greenprint. There is also a lot of work being done with the Institutes of Higher Learning in creating the talent pool to support this ESG economy as well. Singapore has always been the financial hub of Asia, if not the world, and very recently we have become the third largest financial center in the world. So that itself contributes to have a very strong breeding ground for fintech companies, which are probably B2B fintechs as well. If you look at our overall ecosystem, there are about 65 to 70% of our fintech companies which are more B2B focused. So having that set of financial institutions to work with to power their solutions and also to be able to contribute to the overall growth and scalability of their solutions for consumers, I think it's a very good collaborative ground for fintech companies to work in. The other aspect, I think, has been the strong collaboration between the various stakeholders, be it the fintech companies or the financial institutions or the regulators and policymakers. There is that definitely a very strong trust between the various parties in working up collaborative solutions so that in the end Singapore benefits as a hub. So that's very, very clear in terms of some of these policies that are being put in place as well, and we work very closely with the regulator and policymakers in coming up with those solutions which are beneficial for the consumers. We definitely punch above our weight if you look at it. So that has also been seen into some of the work that has been done in growing the fintech talent pool as well. So overall, there is a lot of focus by the policymakers in bringing the investors into Singapore as well. And I was having a chat with someone just yesterday. Their focus is not in Singapore as the market, but they still want to establish themselves in Singapore because of the regulatory certainty that comes by being established in Singapore. I think the most valuable aspect I'm looking at is, of course, to connect with people, to network with people from various backgrounds. Singapore definitely comes in as a place where you have multitude of talent across all levels, which is one of the biggest factors for us to punch above our weight to become the global fintech hub of the world. But it's always good to meet with people from outside of Singapore who are actually traveling in to be here at the FinTech Connect Asia. FinTech Connect has done a great job in bringing people from different backgrounds, diverse backgrounds together, and I'm looking forward towards collaborating with some of them. I wish you all very, very well for the next 2 days of the event. Thank you.